Hi gang, Louis Vuitton's launching a brand spanking new fragrance in their California themed collection of fragrances. It's called City of Stars. I'm going to discuss this fragrance with you today. Plus, 4 Louis Vuitton fragrances are going to potentially get the axe. They're going to be discontinued. I'm going to discuss all of this coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today I'm talking about Louis Vuitton fragrances. City of Stars is launching in that California themed fragrances collection. 2 fragrances from the California themed collection are getting the axe, plus 1 male fragrance and 1 feminine fragrance are also getting the axe. From what I hear, this is rumor, but rumor potentially is for sure it's happening. But yeah, I'm looking forward to City of Stars because I do enjoy the California themed fragrances, but sad they are losing 2 of them. So either way, I'll let you know all about these. Before I do, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So are you a fan of the Louis Vuitton fragrances? Do you enjoy their collection of fragrances? I know they're kind of very luxury designer fragrances. There are some very unique fragrances in the collection, also a lot of mass appealing fragrances, and perhaps this is the reason why they're discontinuing 4 of them. Maybe they're just not doing very well. That could be the most reason that is behind the discontinuation, or maybe some notes got expensive and they can't produce the fragrance anymore. But let's talk about City of Stars first. This is the 6th fragrance in the collection. So they launched with Afternoon Swim, Sunsong, Cactus Garden, California Dream, On the Beach. Now it's called City of Stars. And this one seems to be launching on the 31st of March, so coming right around the corner. I can't wait to sample this one. All the fragrances also seem to be focused on Southern California, whereas I'm in Northern California. I haven't seen a single Northern California themed fragrance. This one's City of Stars, obviously Hollywood, California. So exciting, but let's see, the notes, does it really connect with Hollywood or the City of Stars? It features notes of sandalwood, citruses, and tiare flower. So all the fragrances in the California themed collection are all fresh fragrances. So tiare flower does have a tropical, kind of a beachy smell to it, very floral, and combined with citruses and sandalwood. Could be fun. It looks like it's going kind of beachy. They already do have On the Beach, which I do enjoy On the Beach. The one that really didn't work for me was California Dream, and then also Cactus Garden grew on me, but still not a favorite fragrance of mine. California Dream, on the other hand, was really great smelling when you first smell it, but it really becomes harsh, kind of very sharp and metallic. So this one sounds really, really great. It sounds like it's going to go beachy, because as I said, tiare flower does have a kind of a lightly coconutty, little plasticky, kind of a white flower, tropical floral kind of a smell to it. Of course, they've got the sandalwood in here as well, which is also very kind of creamy and cozy. And citruses, we don't know what kind of citruses, but most likely there's going to be bergamot, maybe there's some lemons, but more probably like grapefruit, bergamot, maybe mandarin orange are going to be featured in this particular fragrance. So it sounds great. Recently, Louis Vuitton had price increase on their fragrances. They are now 100 ml bottles like this for $280. It's interesting, when they first started selling fragrances in 2016, they were $240. They got jacked up to $260. Now, like within the last month, they've increased to $280. So prices are going up. A lot of fragrances are raising, or brands are raising prices on their fragrances, and obviously this one, this brand is as well. So most likely it's created by Jacques Cavallier, because he is the in-house perfumer at Louis Vuitton, and I do enjoy his fragrances. He's been doing fragrances for Bulgari, the men's Le Gem collection fragrances, and in addition to a few fragrances in Maison Margiela's replica collection of fragrances as well. But I've been a fan of his. I think I first discovered his fragrance Kingdom by Alexander McQueen, and that was probably one of the very first fragrances of his creations that I really admired and loved. So City of Stars launching on March 31. Can't wait to get it sampled it. It's just in time, around the corner for spring and summer, obviously, although we're almost in spring, or will be in spring by the time the launch date rolls around. But this will be perfect for summertime. Let me know if you're excited about this particular release, and let me know which California themed collection of fragrances are you a fan of. There's two that are getting discontinued, which I'm going to get to, but the California themed collection of fragrances are very fresh fragrances, and I think definitely Afternoon Swim is still my favorite in that collection. Such a cozy mandarin orange focused fragrance, just really, really delicious. Anyway, so we'll see what how City of Stars is. Moving on to the discontinued fragrances. So two fragrances from the California themed collection of fragrances are getting the axe. And the two fragrances are from the first launch of the three fragrances. Sunsong, getting the axe. Also Cactus Garden, getting the axe. Both of these are getting discontinued. I can see why these are getting discontinued. Sunsong, you know, initially Sunsong was my favorite of the three when they first launched. Afterwards, Afternoon Swim became my favorite. Sunsong is a great smelling fragrance, but there's a lot of fragrances like this out there, so that is probably the reason why this one's getting the axe. It is citruses, citron, along with orange blossom and musk, so it does seem like it's very simplistic. There's not a lot of complexity to it. But the same thing with Afternoon Swim, but I think Afternoon Swim has resonated with a lot of people, and it definitely is a big seller for Louis Vuitton, whereas Sunsong, I think, is not. And I think because there are other fragrances very much similar to this as smells go, probably that's why this is getting the axe, Sunsong. So are you a fan of this one? Get yourself a backup bottle, or if your bottle is empty, like my bottle is here of this fragrance, which I'm going to get to in a minute, go get it refilled, because I've told a relative of mine who has all three of the first launch, Afternoon Swim, Cactus Garden, and Sunsong, and she's gonna go and get her bottles refilled because she's been out, and now as soon as I told her, she's getting worried that she's not gonna, you know, get a chance to refill them. I hope they're still refilling the bottles. We shall see, because if not, that's gonna be a bummer. Then you'll just be stuck with buying a full bottle over again. But yeah, this is sad, but I can see why this is discontinued. On the other hand, Cactus Garden was a little odd to me at first. It was not my favorite release in the collection. It did grow on me. This is it right here. So this one to me, it smells different. Like, it smells unique but very fresh. Has a kind of a green vibe to it. There's lemongrass, there's mate, there's bergamot. There's definitely herbal quality. That mate has this earthy green herbal quality to it. Lemongrass, you know, a little tart, a little aromatic, a little herbal, and then you've got that bergamot in here as well. Again, it's not a very complicated wear. It's not very complex. It's simplistic, but this is a kind of a unique smell. Very herbal, a bit tea-like, very earthy, green, and citrusy. So this actually has grown on me, but still it's not my favorite of the first three. And if I put it against the entire collection in this California themed collection, I think it would be pretty much in the bottom. I think it would even actually be in the bottom, like the very bottom, not, even compared to something like California Dream, whereas that one, as I said, is a great fragrance. It's a great smelling fragrance, but it goes sharp, like takes a detour from being this kind of very fresh, aromatic, spicy, citrusy fragrance, then becomes like metallic sharp. I would still put this one at the very bottom. It's just an odd but good kind of a smell. But anyway, this is getting the axe, so get yourself your bottle if you are a fan of it, because come very soon you're not going to be able to find it. But the other thing is, since these are Louis Vuitton exclusives, like you can only buy them at Louis Vuitton boutiques, I don't know if they'll ever make it into the discounters, because they're like very kept very exclusively by the stores, so they'll probably only sell them in the stores, and when they're sold out kind of a thing. Alright, so moving on, there's one fragrance that is from the men's collection of fragrances that's getting discontinued, which is my empty bottle here, almost empty. It's Alhazard. So this one, to me, initial smell does remind me of Santal 33. It also does remind me of Century from Dunhill. I've even got a video on the channel comparing this Alhazard or Alhazard with Century and Le Labo Santal 33, because it does have this kind of smell to it that kind of does remind me of it. They're not identical, but it'll remind you of it when you smell it. But when you put it next to the other fragrances, you'll definitely notice the differences in the smells. So this has leather, musk, sandalwood, ambrette, cashmeran, cardamom, pear, neroli, and bergamot. It doesn't mention that cypriol or papyrus note, which is definitely prominent in Century. Century has cypriol, Centol 33 has papyrus, whereas this one does remind me of those two fragrances. It doesn't feature either of those two notes, so I don't know why it reminds me of it, but either way, I think it might be the sandalwood that's reminding me of the smell of those two other fragrances. But to me, definitely has kind of like a papyrus cypriol kind of presence. But this launched along with the first 5 men's fragrances that launched, which included Orage, Nouveau Monde, drawing a blank with the names, L'Immensité, and then Sur la Route. Those are the first 5 that launched with the men's collection. So from the initial drop of the 5 men's fragrances, Alhazard is getting the axe, getting discontinued, which now they also have Meteor and Imagination in the men's collection. Most likely they'll launch another men's collection fragrance if this is getting pulled. And obviously we're losing the 2 California themed fragrances, and they're launching a brand new one, City of Stars. Definitely this seems like, because the collection is not, I mean, these particular fragrances are not selling, and they want to replace it, and they don't want the collection to be extremely large. Last and final fragrance, going back to the beginning, the launch of the initial Louis Vuitton fragrances. The first initial launch was 7 fragrances for women, and this is the one that's getting the axe, Contre Moi. This is the vanilla musky, kind of lightly chocolatey fragrance. So Contre Moi is the first fragrance I bought from this Louis Vuitton collection of fragrances. It was my favorite. It was vanilla. There's definitely something chocolatey under there, lightly, and definitely musky with light fruity nuances and things like that. So most likely this is a different kind of a vanilla. It's not your traditional vanilla. The collection, the entire women's collection, especially the first 7 that launched, were kind of very watery. There's something like a cohesive wateriness running throughout the entire first drop of the ladies' fragrances, the first Louis Vuitton fragrances in 2016, way after when they first initially had fragrances in the early 1900s, and they stopped making fragrances up until 2016. So this particular one definitely has a non-traditional vanillic smell to it, and I think probably people can't relate to it or enjoy it as much as some of the other fragrances in their collection. I think the Rose de Vence is a very popular fragrance. I think the Apogée is very popular, at least here from what I hear from the sales associates at Louis Vuitton. I believe actually featured Les Jours Célèbres recently. That's a great fresh fragrance. It's a fruity, floral, crisp, crunchy, and fruity and fresh and floral, with lots of citruses with that one. That one I think is great as well. But sad this is going away. This one has Tahitian and Madagascar vanilla, cacao, ambrette, magnolia, orange blossom, pear, rose, and green notes. Yeah, you know, it's an interesting take on vanilla. It's a fresh take on vanilla. Some of you don't like vanilla too much. Like, it can get cloying and sweet and overwhelming. This is the kind of vanilla you would probably want to get because of that particular reason, because it's not necessarily extremely heavy, dense, thick, things like that. Also, it's not so sweet, and it's also definitely musky. That ambrette note that's in here, I find ambrette note to be really, really great fragrance note. It has all these multifacets. It has these kind of nuances, lightly medicinal, a little boozy, definitely fruity, lots of muskiness though. That's prominent here. You can totally smell it. Totally do, but sadly this is getting the axe. So most likely, since this is getting the axe, they're definitely going to launch another feminine fragrance in the collection. Either way, that's Contre Moi, and that's the last fragrance. So if you're fans of these 4 fragrances from Louis Vuitton, and you don't have a backup bottle, maybe get yourself a backup bottle. Prices did go up. Maybe they should have announced these discontinuations prior to the price increase, but unfortunately it is the way it is, because once the prices go up, they go up, and that we're stuck with it. But if you're fans of these 4 fragrances, let me know, put a comment down, and why do you like these 4 fragrances, and also let me know what you think about City of Stars. Are you interested in this particular fragrance? I almost said Sea of Stars, but yeah, I'm looking forward to City of Stars. Anything to do with the California collection, I'm there. I'm curious to try them. I do enjoy On the Beach. Now I'm looking forward to City of Stars, the latest one that's launching on the 31st of March. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. Let me know if you're a fan of the Louis Vuitton fragrances. Let me know what your top 5 Louis Vuitton fragrances are. Put a comment down so I can find out. Let me know what you think about the discontinuation of these 4 fragrances. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.